Welcome to Breit Guide, where we simplify Medicare. I'm your host, Megan, with Breitenfeldt Group. If you are looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to Medicare, you're in the right place. This is Breit Guide, and let's get into it. Hello there. Welcome to the Breit Guide Podcast. I'm your host, Megan, and thank you for joining me today. Whether this is your first time here or you're a frequent watcher of ours, thank you for joining me. And I'm excited to deep dive into this topic of a common question that we get asked, and that is, how do you know what Medicare plan is right for you? How do I know what Medicare plan is right for me? And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that today, because at the end of the day, there is no perfect plan. Medicare is very individualized, so it isn't a one size fits everybody's needs. And so I'm going to kind of discuss some important things to consider when choosing a Medicare plan. And from there, the decision is ultimately yours. So also, because Medicare isn't the only thing that we talk about here on this podcast, if you like oatmeal or anything like that, I just got some fun recipes that I'm going to share with you at the end. Some helpful tips and just things that have worked great in my home that I'm going to share with you. So if you want to stay tuned to the end and maybe like some oatmeal every now and then in your life, hang with me. So let's deep dive into this. So an important question that we ask when we sit down with someone to determine if the Medicare plan is right for them is, how important are their doctors that they see? Where do they go to the doctor? What facility do they go to? Because not every Medicare plan works with every doctor or every healthcare facility. And so that is a really important question to ask. Some Medicare plans have larger networks. Some of them have a lot more narrow networks. And so if your doctor, your facility, other doctors, other facilities are important to you, before choosing a plan, you want to make sure that you can continue to see who you want to see. And so making sure your primary care physician, any specialists, any additional facilities that are important to you are going to be part of your network is a really important conversation to talk about, and it's a really important thing to consider when choosing a Medicare plan. Next is, what do your prescriptions look like? Not all plans cover prescription drugs the same. Some of them have different formularies, some of them have different tiers, and so that's also an important question to see. What do your prescriptions look like? Are you taking any prescriptions? If so, let's hear what you're taking to make sure that that plan is going to cover your prescriptions, so you are not left with any surprises when you choose a plan. And it's not just all about the prescriptions that you are taking, but where do you go to the pharmacy? Is that pharmacist where you pick up your prescriptions important to you? Would you consider going to a different pharmacy? I know that when we review a lot of our Medicare members who are already on Medicare, those questions are very important. Some of them are like, nope, I am not going to switch my pharmacist. I love them. They know me. I know them. And so those are all very important things to consider. Other people might be like, yep, that's not important to me. Where's the most cost-effective place that I can get my prescriptions at? So looking at pharmacy is important. Also, it's important to look at things like, would you have any quantity limits or prior authorizations for certain medications that you are taking? So all those kind of questions play an important role in choosing the Medicare plan that's going to be more suitable for you when it comes to the prescription side of it. The next question that we ask that's important is, what does your traveling look like? Are you someone who likes to travel? I'm from Minnesota, and I have a goal someday to travel down south during the 30 below winter seasons, but are you someone who likes to travel? Is that important to you? Do you travel in your same state? Do you travel out of state? How much do you travel? How long do you travel? How long are you gone for? And so those are big questions also when determining what kind of plan is going to fit your needs when it comes to your traveling and your extended travel and what that looks like for you. So basically, when it comes to traveling, if you travel frequently or you have a lifestyle that causes you to stay somewhere else for a certain period of time in the year, you're going to want to make sure your coverage fits the lifestyle that you currently live. Next, let's talk about your health needs. Now, you might be somebody that rarely sees a doctor. You might be somebody that frequently sees a specialist. Everybody has different healthcare needs. Perhaps you might be managing a chronic illness, an ongoing treatment, or expect maybe having a surgery in the near future. All those things are very important to consider when looking at a Medicare plan to make sure that you are finding a suitable option to fit your personal health needs. And what that looks like is going to be different than your spouse. It could be different than your friend. It could be different than your neighbor. And so those are also very important things to consider when looking into a Medicare plan. Also, some extra things beyond just your health needs to consider is dental important to you? Is vision or hearing benefits important to you? Because Medicare does not cover those added benefits of dental, vision, eyeglass reimbursement, anything like that. Therefore, many Medicare plans don't cover that as well. So if those things are important to you, that's also something to consider when choosing a Medicare plan. So when we sum that up, basically, how often are you going to the doctor? How often are you seeing a specialist? Do you have any upcoming surgeries? Are you currently going through some treatments or some illnesses that you want to have ongoing care for? And so those are all very important to consider when looking at a Medicare plan. And last but not least, let's talk about your budget here, because it's not just the premium that we need to worry about when considering a suitable Medicare plan for you. Some things to also consider are going to be deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance, prescription drug costs, your potential out-of-pocket costs per year. And I know we can't always predict what that can look like, but it's good to consider what all those possibilities might look like when looking at costs. A budget that fits your needs along with that premium. And sometimes a lower premium plan can end up costing you more in those kind of hidden costs and co-pays and co-insurances. And sometimes it doesn't. But those are all things to consider when you're looking at what budget fits you, fits your needs. And again, that's going to look different for everyone. So basically, it's important to look at the whole picture here and not just the premium. So to wrap this conversation up, when choosing a Medicare plan, it isn't always about picking the lowest price or choosing what your neighbor has or even choosing what your spouse has. It's all about finding the coverage that fits important things to you, that fits your doctors, that fits your prescriptions, that fits your travel habits, your health, your lifestyle, and your budget. That gives you a peace of mind knowing that if something were to happen, that you have a plan that's going to give you the coverage that you are needing. So that's why taking that time to really compare your options, to look at the bigger picture, to work with somebody, to work with an agent that is going to offer different types of plan options for you is very important when considering the right Medicare plan for you. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, remember you don't have to figure this out alone. You don't have to navigate what plan is going to be most suitable for you alone. There are agents, there are licensed agents, there are brokers that are there to help you. Us here at Breitenfeldt Group, we love sitting down with people who are aging into Medicare and going through all those different options, asking all those different questions, making sure that you leave knowing that the plan that you picked is going to be the plan that is most suitable for you that year. And of course, that's ever changing. That's why we don't just stop at, what plan is going to be that first plan for you as you get on Medicare, but it's also important to get reviewed every year to make sure you're continuing asking those questions, continuing finding the right plan for your lifestyle, for your budget, for your needs, for your health, because all that can change year to year as well. Thank you for listening to that. I hope there are some pieces that you wrote down when choosing a Medicare plan to remember to consider when you're looking at your options as you approach Medicare. And as always, like I said in the beginning of this podcast episode, we are going to flip out of Medicare world. And I don't know about you, but I do love oatmeal. I love different types of oatmeal. I will have it warm. My kids and I will mix it. We'll make little protein balls. And we also like overnight oats. So if you're someone that just likes to have a relaxed morning and maybe a cup of coffee or tea and enjoy your morning without having to worry of like what you're going to eat or what you should cook, I would highly recommend you trying some overnight oats. And so it's pretty simple. What's important is that you are using the old-fashioned rolled oats. And you're going to add some milk. You're going to add some Greek yogurt. You can do plain yogurt. You can do vanilla. You can also add some chia seeds if you want to get a little extra healthy. And then maybe some maple syrup and some honey. And you're going to mix it all together and put it in a mason jar, cover it, and put it in your refrigerator. And the next morning, it's all ready for you to eat. So you can just enjoy your coffee or your tea. I also like to add things in there like blueberries or bananas. I throw in peanut butter. You can make it as plain as you want. You can make it as fancy as you want. But I'm all about ease. I'm all about, I am a morning person and I love sitting in the mornings, enjoying my coffee without worrying what's my next meal. And so if you haven't tried overnight rolled oats, I will put the recipe here in the show notes, and maybe add a little cinnamon. You can add some vanilla extract. Again, kind of make it fun. And if you find a cool recipe that you absolutely love, feel free to share it with us. We always love that. And as always, thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Follow Breitenfeldt Group on Facebook. There we come to you with some Medicare tidbits. We actually come to you with some new recipes because we're always trying to find some fun new recipes and Medicare updates and I don't know, just having fun along the way, because although Medicare is serious and we do take that very serious, we do try to lighten it up and know that, there's some fun to be had along your Medicare journey. So thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. And remember, you're not navigating Medicare alone. At Breitenfeldt Group, our entire team is here to support you, answer your questions, and help you feel confident in every Medicare decision you make. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode of Breit Guide. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.